So we are talking about Drea Michelle. Drea Michelle is, I think she was a video girl. She has a swim line. I don't know if she has a makeup line. I don't remember if she got into that. But she also is married. Well, not married. I think she has a child with a ball player. She's pretty known in the industry, and she was on the reality show Basketball Wives. Now, there are so many times where Drea was cornered on the Basketball Wives show where she should have declined the invitation. But because she didn't decline it, she ended up getting bamboozled, cornered, and humiliated as a humiliation ritual. I will also take several examples from the Basketball Wives series, whether it's Basketball Wives Miami or Basketball Wives LA, to teach you guys about declining invitations, signs to look out for to ensure that you're not walking into a humiliation ritual. So there was a scene where Drea was, the other ladies were doing research on her, and they found out the whole situation about the child endangerment and the alleged police report about her leaving her son by himself, and, you know, the house being a mess and him having to climb on a chair to heat up food. And the ladies dug up that info, found out all that info, and they planned on having a dinner. And they had Drea walk in thinking that she was going to a dinner, but in reality, she was going to have 6 women start questioning her about her past or her position as a mother. But in her mind, she thought that she was walking in to just have margaritas and mozzarella sticks. And that's why it's important. Again, the main thing is having discernment. Discernment. That is a word that I'll never stop stating. Discernment, intuition. You will always know who people are if you're tapped into your spirit. You will always know. You don't have to know them for a long period of time. You don't have to know every detail about them. Your spirit already knows them before you do. And if you're tapped into your spirit, you will be warned. A lot of you guys, you miss these red flags and you walk into these humiliation rituals and you walk into these negative invites because you're not tapped in and you didn't get that feeling. For example, when I had that humiliation ritual that was done on me where I was invited to be a private group of this church, but in reality, they were all planning on publicly humiliating me. That day that happened, I told my family that I was not going to the private group that night. And they were like, why? I'm like, my spirit just feels disturbed right now. I don't know why, but I'm not going. And they told me, no, you have to go. I'm like, no, I'm not going. I'm going to do laundry. I'm going to take a nice shower, and I'm going to put on some meditation music, and I'm going to burn incense. I'm going to try to relax. I don't want to go. And they told me, no, you have to come. We'll meet you there. You have to come. And they forced me to go. And that's the night that the humiliation ritual took place. So I'm tapped in. So if you're tapped in, you're not going to walk into things like this. And even if you miss the mark and you do walk in, you're going to sense it the minute you step in the room, because everyone's going to be acting strange and you will exit yourself right then and there, right? So it doesn't even happen. So Drea walked in, and all of the women were acting like they were inviting her to have lunch or dinner, but in reality, they were pulling up documents from Google that they had printed out that they wanted to address her about. And they wanted to address her as a group. And the crazy part is Jackie and Laura Gavon, who found out this information or dug up this information about Drea that they couldn't prove if it was real or not. Instead of one of them pulling her to the side and bringing it up to her, they said, no, we're going to tell the entire group and we're going to have her walk into a lion's den so we can take our jealousy and envy out on her this way. This is something that women are very notorious for, these weird invitations and humiliation rituals. Women love to do this because they're very covert with their approaches, and a lot of women, they're bullies, right? So these are the type of things that they team up together to do. So Drea had to explain, and she started crying, and she was very emotional. And then the women started calling her worthless, and her son's with her now. So clearly, if that was true, her son wouldn't be with her. Her son's with her now. And she told them that it was fake. And do I believe it was fake? It could have been, Drea was the it girl at that time. It's just like people that call DCF on people and say that they're not taking care of their child, and then DCF shows up to the house and the kid's fine. But somebody just made that call because they wanted to get that person's child taken away from them, or whatever the case may be. There are some people that I know who are popular in the entertainment industry that they just push out their kid and they post a picture, and DCF shows up to the hospital and tries to test them for drugs and alcohol because an anonymous person made a call to say, hey, this person has been drinking and doing drugs while they're pregnant, which is not the truth. But DCF has to take that seriously and still go to the hospital and test that person. So I personally don't believe that the document was real. I do believe it was a fake document posted online to make her look bad, or to, ruin her name in the industry. That's the vibe that I got. But the other ladies thought otherwise. So she showed up to that invitation just to get teamed up on by 7 women. And the only girl there that had her back was Malaysia. And Malaysia was the one that was like, okay, we can't do this. You guys are getting really weird. Malaysia was always a true friend to Drea, in my opinion, because she didn't allow people to try and team tag against Drea. And what I always tell women, if you're a mature woman, we don't do bullying. We don't do 3 against 1, 5 against 1, 2 against 1. We don't intertwine ourselves into that because it is bullying. And as women, no matter how old you are, you need to be able to recognize when you're in a bullying situation where someone is trying to bully another person. And you need to look at that and be like, that's not okay. This cannot be a 5 against 1 situation. We cannot do that. Be the mouthpiece of righteousness. Be the mouthpiece of righteousness, especially if you are a believer in Christ. Be a mouthpiece of righteousness, and do not allow these low vibrational antics that people do to get by when you're around. So they did that to Drea one time, and they also did that to her again when she showed up to British's rooftop party, dressed up in her costume, and they started asking her, hey, is it true that you're a HOE? And then all the other girls started jumping in, and it's like, you see, that's another invitation she should have declined. And then they did it again. Jackie and her daughter did it again when they invited Drea and her boyfriend showed up, and Jackie had her daughter there. It was, again, another invitation that should have been declined. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to become very smart and strategic to understand what you're walking into. If you have a feeling, or in your spirit, you have a feeling that someone does not like you, and that little feeling is there, you feel it on the inside of you, you can sense that they don't truly care for you as a person, decline their invitations. I don't care where they invite you. Decline the invitation. So in their minds, when they think, oh, Laura's going to show up and we're going to do this quick humiliation ritual and we're going to blindside her, you don't show up, and now they don't have the opportunity to do that. Okay. Now, again, do not forget about the master classes. For January, we have How to Start a Business from Scratch, January 15th, 7 p.m. on Zoom. And then on January 25th, we have Feminine Power Masterclass at 7. You can also do the bundle deal where you get 2 of the classes for a really, really good price. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.